Hey, it's Amethyst Virgo. I'm back. This video is about the type of teacher you are. And I want to first give the disclaimer that you don't have to be a teacher in a school setting to be a teacher. You don't have to teach children. There's other ways I want to address this video. I want to talk about it as being a facilitator. You could be an instructor. You could be a college professor. Maybe you are a person that teaches your life coach, maybe you are in some way, you're a yoga instructor, you are a fitness trainer, you are in some way, you're a mentor for people, you are in some way in charge of the direct development of other people. Let's just call it that. I wanted to do this video and talk about it. And I had to think of the approach that I wanted to use. First I was going to go by the signs, then I was going to go by the planets, and I'm like, let me just talk about it from the way of the type of teacher you may be. Because at first I was going to go through like people more likely to be teachers, but I don't always like the more likely to be types of conversations because you find examples all over. Now, of course, you can have signs more likely to do anything. I do agree with that. There are signs more likely to get into certain fields, but it's more about the way you use your energy, in my opinion, than limiting what we can do in life based on our signs. I don't really agree with that. So let's start with Aries. So Aries individuals are going to be best in showing people how to do something, but expecting them to master it. It's the Aries type of instructor, teacher, mentor wants you to, scrolling down to my notes, wants you to do what they're doing, but then they expect you to pick up easily. So this is not for the weak-fainted, the weak-hearted. They, show people how to respond. Aries individuals, Mars dominant people, show people how to react, how to engage in life. The Aries person is like, okay, I've showed it to you, now you do it. And when and some people, it's like training wheels. Some people need the training wheels and they're like, whoa, that's too much. But some people, that's the right dosage, because Aries as a teacher wants you to learn on your own. They're not trying to kind of coddle you or have you be dependent on them. Aries wants to show. And Aries can be really good in anything that is kind of more physical, training, anything that requires people to have to respond, react to something. If we're talking about Aries person who's like, no, well, I'm a teacher, I want to be in a classroom, like you might do best with activities that require people to get up. You're more interested in people doing. It's not just about sitting and thinking. And there's nothing wrong with sitting and thinking, because Mercury-based people, that's kind of how we are, right? We like to think and ponder about things, and discuss them and analyze them. But, a karate instructor, someone who knows how to use the body, someone who's a defense, who shows people how to, maybe they teach defense classes or something of that nature. That is utilizing Aries type energy. Aries teachers, Aries individuals are about responding, right? Really good when you have to show people how to use their reaction skills, people who need to work on their timeliness, not timeliness like Virgo energy, but timeliness in terms of, all right, get into action. When this happens, you got to do this. When this happens, you got to do that. Right? So Aries can be really good with showing you and being bold. Aries typically is not going to teach you to do something they have not already tried or done, or they're not going to teach you to do something they're not willing to try with you. All right, let's try it. Oh, that's not working. All right, let's figure it out. It's kind of the Aries energy that you're going to see, very physical, active. This could even be people who maybe instructors for like skydiving or like extreme sports or anything like that, could be Aries in nature. Now, Taurus. So Taurus energy is going to be a little bit more focused and centered on, building. How do you build something up? The blueprint for something. I mean, Taurus teachers, educators, whatever you want to call it, are really good with the procedures, the procedural way to do it. Nope, we can't rush. This is very different than what I just spoke about with Aries. Aries, go ahead, try it. Taurus energy is about the procedures, doing things in a certain way, modeling for people how to do it, right? Helping people understand the building blocks to something. Even if someone's a life coach or a therapist or something like that, Taurus energy is about, do you understand the foundations? Because we can't go anywhere if you don't understand this, And so even if you're thinking of a Taurus teacher in a classroom or something, they could be really good with that type of like, nope, we gotta know the formula first. Nope, we gotta understand this first. Like, we're not moving along until you all understand this very basic point here. Let's see what else I wanted to say. I mean, I think Taurus could also be really good with teaching the components of something, what something is made of. Even if you thought of someone who's maybe they are a teacher in the classroom and they teach like chemistry, or they teach something that requires them to kind of tell and show people, how things work, how things come together. But I also would say with that, Venus, especially Taurus, can be really good with, remember the senses. The senses is something that Taurus rules over. So even people who are really good with like, massages, people who are good with people's, chiropractors or things like that. I will say Capricorn could also be a chiropractor because the bones. But I'm saying this because Taurus can be really good with understanding how this feels, how that feels, how's this, where are the pressure points in the body. So Taurus can be really good with teaching even people how to take care of themselves in that way, the senses, not in the health way, that's more Virgo, but more in like the body pressure points and all those different things. So think of Taurus in that regard as well. There's different levels to that. Now with Gemini, Gemini is like writing. Gemini is really good with teaching people how to think and question situations and question different things. Gemini teachers, educators, professors, life coaches, whatever, they're going to arm you with information. They're going to arm you with information. But I think the good thing about Gemini is because of the natural curiosity, there is, again, in an evolved Gemini, the ability to ask you the right questions, to really make sure that you're thinking. Not the type that's just trying to tell you everything they know, but really allowing you to do some of the work yourself. So Gemini does tend to be really good with the thinking, the thought process, getting the ideas flowing, sharing quotes with people, sharing something that is going to help them know and understand something more. So in general, I think if you think of education or teaching, of course, you're going to immediately think of signs like Gemini or Sagittarius in that regard, like Mercury based, or even Jupiter, because Jupiter teaches us through experience. And so, Gemini can be great with teaching the facts. They're really good with helping people start to think through things in ways that require a level of sophistication into, how to identify different modes and ways of thinking and experiencing situations and different things. Gemini can be really good with that. Like, even if it's a person's not teacher, but you're somehow training somebody or something. Gemini might be, they look at their website, they're going to have a lot of just different information. A lot of just, they want you to know all the things that you can know about something, okay? And can just be really good with like the flow of conversation. Gemini energy in general tends to be good with the flow. It is good with, even if you sometimes come to a Gemini, you're not sure of what to do, the ability to talk to someone about something is sometimes really helpful, because they naturally want to think. They naturally, let's just think about this. It's not about, oh, we got to go do something right away. It's not a fire energy, it's not a water energy where we're thinking about like, feelings. And it's not a earth energy where earth sometimes wants to stick to the rules, right? Well, what do you mean you have a problem? You just do it like this. But Gemini energy, that air, allows for there to be that communication. And Gemini's not often try to come up with a solution. Now, Gemini is objective enough where they're taking the emotions out of it. So sometimes you do have to recognize that limitation in that sign. Now with Cancer, Cancer energy is good with these people. If you're Cancer dominant, maybe you're not a Cancer sun sign, but you have Cancer as a dominant placement in your chart. Really good with making connections to people through how they feel. They feel that people learn through emotions, or they understand that, or that's how they learn. And so you tend to be good at before someone can learn from you, there does, especially with younger people, there does tend to need to be a level of trust, right? Like if you're an adult and you sign up for a class, you already know what you're getting from it. Like, I'm getting a certification so I can make more money at my job, right? When you're older, or you have enough life experience, you can learn from anybody without there needing to be this emotional connection, okay? But with Cancer energy, and with anybody though, the more you have an emotional connection, you feel like someone cares about you, you are going to learn more from them anyway. So I do want to just make that clear. But they can use people's feelings to help them learn. You know, Cancer is not going to jump straight into a lecture without being like, whoa, are you okay? And like, you know, this the college professor or something like, oh, are you all right? Like, no, you know, I just got into a car accident. It was a minor fender bender. My dog's dying. And da-da-da. And that person, I'm like, all right, you go home, right? Like, Cancer understands your needs a little bit better. And that's just an example, but when it comes to the type of facilitator a person could be, or with Cancer energy, is that they're really good at sensing how your feelings indicate what you're able to receive. And this, again, is the higher level. If you're not, you know, a lot of stuff I'm saying is about people who have done the work, who've evolved. You got a Cancer energy person you don't like or whatever, there's another video. There's the dark shadow, the shadow side of each sign, or whatever video I have. But right now, I'm not talking about that. But Cancer wants to understand the root of things. And that's my next point. Cancer energy is associated again with the type of teachers, historians. So if you're not a teacher, maybe you're a historian. You keep the records, you keep the documents. Researchers, okay, especially if it's a Cancer individual that also has Gemini energy in their chart, or even Virgo energy in their chart. They're really good at research, because Cancer energy is about the root. Get to the root cause of something, and then you can work with it. You can help it grow and nurture it, because that's Cancer. So Cancer teachers, facilitators, life coaches, whatever, there is this need to connect to you. Let me connect to you, and let me see what we have in common. Let me see where I can draw inspiration from. And then it's a little bit easier to teach you or help you or guide you, or whatever the situation may be. All right. Leo. So Leo can be good in terms of performance. Leo works best with people they're trying to bring the best out of, okay? When a Leo decides to be a facilitator, a life coach, a teacher, a trainer, whatever, this typically is not going to be the Leo side people want to talk about with, oh, being self-centered or being, trying to be showy and all that. That's typically going to be a different type of Leo individual. Different individuals go into different fields for different reasons, but typically you're going to have, if a person wants to help others and they want to be a teacher, or they want to somehow facilitate, or somehow guide people, mentor people, this Leo individual does it because they want to see the best in others. Another good placement with Leo with this is Jupiter and Leo, depending on where it is, but Jupiter and Leo can be great with seeing the greatness in other people. And when you can see the greatness in other people, you inspire them. And so Leo is here to bring that out, bring it out, get that confidence up. Okay, it's not a sign that's going to focus too much on you trying to fix what's wrong. It's like, no, we're going to work on what's right. Okay. And so Leo people can tend to be good with performance, teaching dance, drama. There's an appreciation sometimes for the arts, especially performative arts, right? And so there's a need to bring the light and happiness out of people. And you can sometimes see that, I think, with Leo, and you can see that sometimes with Aries as well, that kind of like inner child energy, like let's bring it out. And so Leo is going to be looking at the positive. We're going to be looking at what's good. We're going to be looking at what's great. We're going to be working with your strengths. It's not a sign that's necessarily always going to be working with your deficits. Okay. Now we could talk more about Virgo and how Virgo can help with deficits. Virgo helps with, fixing a problem, making it, how to improve. We'll talk about that in a moment. But that's typically what you're going to see with the Leo type of educator, facilitator, professor, instructor, whatever the case may be. You're trying to bring out the best in people. Okay. Now, Virgo. Okay, so we talked about Gemini, the other Mercury sign, but Virgo is teaching a strategy. So Gemini it teaches the information, it teaches the thought process, it teaches you to be open to thinking. And Virgo now, well, what are we going to do with that thinking? We need to now analyze certain things, okay? Virgo might want you to reflect. Virgo might want you to think about what you need to improve, and don't be offended. Virgo at its best is not doing that to make you feel insecure. Right? Virgo, the evolved Virgo's already done this work. I did it too. You're going to do it. So it becomes about what do we want to improve? What do you need to improve? As a teacher, so again, we have to disconnect ourselves from stereotypes we have about signs. We're talking about different type of things. We're talking about somebody who generally wants to help other people. Virgo's now not bringing that critique to it. Yeah, they notice everything, but Virgo's now bringing, if you're a teacher, like, I want you to identify what you need to improve. I want you to identify what you want to do better in, and then I'm going to help you do that. Okay. And so Virgo is, training people to look at things in ways to better it. Virgo is teaching you how to look at situations and how to have goals, little mini goals, not Capricorn, but Virgo might say, okay, we're going to work on this. We're going to work on that. Virgo is focusing on the minor part of things, but it's important because I did the video before a couple years ago about Taurus, the Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, right? The Earth trine situation, and how each sign is starting or in the middle or stopping, right? Or the end. And Capricorn's the end. That's the big goal. But Virgo is like, before we get there, we need to tweak some things. We need to fix some things. We need to think through some things. So Virgo will ask you to process. So Gemini starts with the questions. Gemini gets your mind moving. Virgo then says, okay, we got the idea. Now let's process this. And so Virgo teachers are going to be more about process, analyzing. Did you change your thinking? What now? Okay, let's check on this. How are we doing? Right? That's what Virgo tends to do. Now Libra. Okay, so now we're dealing with Libra. I mean, I think in general, Libra is any type of life coach, or look a lot at Libra as teaching people how to develop positive relationships, teaching people how to have better sense of communication with people that helps bring them closer together. Communication can be simple. Communication is, I told you this thing. But Libra can be, but how do we take the information we have and bring us closer together, right? And so with Libra, what they do is they are able to see both sides of a situation. They're able to deliberate and see the value in each thing. I know we talk about value mostly through Taurus being about value, but what Libra can do also as the sign ruled by Venus is value. We're looking at something. Now, Taurus has more of I've decided this is what's value. Taurus is really good at that determination. But what you have here is you have now Libra has put things kind of equal, and like, this is this and this is that. But when Libra is good at determining something, Libra can be really, Libra can be quite successful in terms of counseling, relationship counselors, negotiations, bringing things together, helping people see things, marriage counselor, or someone who's able to use their relationship with people to help, kind of like how Cancer does. But Cancer comes more from I know what you need, your needs, right? Whereas Libra is more, when we meet in the middle, when we meet together, then I'm using that to help me help you with your goals or bring you closer to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve or do. Okay. And one thing I didn't say that I wanted to say about Taurus, also ruled by Venus, is Taurus can be really good at the how to cook, how to write, how to change a tire. Like, Taurus is the procedure, okay, of how to do something, okay? Virgo would be more like the process of like, what's the most effective way to do this, though, to get the job done. And then if we go to Libra, because that's what we're talking about right now, but Libra would be more about how to better your soft skills, your speaking skills, listening to people, connecting to people. Because in Libra's goal is both things matter. Both things matter. Value is, no, we got to see both sides. And even when Libra doesn't consciously think they're doing it, that's what Libra's doing. So even when it makes a decision, it's weighed both things before it's made that decision, which is why Libra can be really good at deliberating when you don't have the indecisive type of Libra energy. Now, we're going to talk about Scorpio now. Okay. Now, Scorpio is going to be the type that they want you to think and dig deeper, And so Scorpio can sometimes push people past limits, past their comfort zone, past zones they didn't even know that they had. And so with Scorpio, we know also ruled by Mars and Pluto, this type of individual is going to be really, really more invested in your growth and your development. And they are willing to kind of make it uncomfortable for you. Your trainer, doesn't care your muscles hurt. They don't care. Your Scorpio trainer, nope, we're going to keep going anyway, right? Or you want to skip a day and they're like, our routine is this, right? Because Scorpio can be quite regimented as well. It's especially if it wants something, right? Different reason than Virgo, where Virgo thrives off that kind of need to have things in place, and Taurus thrives off routine. But Scorpio is I'm consistent because this is something I want, and I understand to really fully have it, I have to be consistent with it. And so Scorpio wants you to go past your limits. Scorpio wants you, they might even have you thinking about things in deeper ways. It's not a surface level type of person. And so since it's not a surface level type of person, what's going on here is whereas Aries wants you to respond and react, Scorpio wants you to dig deeper. Scorpio wants you to wait. Are you sure that's all that there is to that? Go back again. You're missing something. Like Scorpio teachers will always want you to dig deeper to get the most complex result, answer, or outcome as possible. You know what I mean? And at the end, there's that reward. There's the trainer's like, see, I pushed you to the limit, but look at you now, right? A Scorpio teacher like, yeah, I made you redo that paper because you didn't have your footnotes, but look, now you have an A, right? So Scorpio is it's not a very fluffy, I'm going to hug you up type of energy. But when Scorpio is on your side, they're going to help you develop, and they're going to help you push past those very difficult roadblocks. That's why sometimes I say with trauma, Scorpio can be quite good at dealing with people's trauma as in occupations. That doesn't mean every Scorpio wants to do that, but you might notice, even if you're a Scorpio ascendant, you constantly attract people who have traumatic situations or people who have difficult circumstances, because you're more able to navigate it and understand the importance of still like, yeah, that was really hard, we got to push through anyway. Not every sign does that. Not every sign is like that, of course. Now, Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius, as a teacher, as an educator, as a facilitator, as an instructor, whatever the case may be, Sagittarius is about enlightenment. It is about shedding light on something. It is about teaching you the truth. So Sagittarius, as a teacher, is going to want you to understand that you probably don't know everything you need to know. Sagittarius wants you out of your bubble. So Sagittarius is not going to only focus on the things that happened in the past. That might be Cancer energy, let's talk about the past. Sagittarius wants you to look at things in ways outside of yourself, right? So that's why Sagittarius as a sign has been associated with religion, philosophy, justice, things like that, because it's about, let's look outside of ourselves, okay? And when we look outside of ourselves, we're trying to think of ways in which we can be more, loyal to our truth, be more committed. Sagittarius can also be associated with political science. Not history as much as like Cancer can, but Sagittarius is about some level of justice, morality, okay? So Sagittarius is trying to help you see things and how they work and how it is a part of a bigger picture. So Sagittarius as an energy, as an instructor, wants you to see the bigger picture. They want you to understand, have knowledge. So they're probably going to have a lot of knowledge about a lot of different things. They're going to expose you to a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, Sagittarius wants you to experience things. So this might be a sign where it's like, all right, we just learned about this. Now we're going to go out and do it. Now we're going to go out and experience it. Okay, we learned about this. Now we're going to go here. Oh yeah, I'm your trainer. Yep, I taught you all this. Well, now we're going to go out and work out in the park, or we're going to go travel to work out, or I'm a teacher. I just taught you this. Now we're going to go take a trip. So Sagittarius wants you outside of just your comfort zone, outside of your bubble, because Sagittarius understands we learn from the ways in which the world around us is teaching us about the different themes in life and how things typically work, okay? Capricorn. So Capricorn can be really good with upholding something that's already there. It's already a structure. If you want to go learn something and the way it's supposed to be done, you want to go to a Capricorn, because Capricorn is going to follow the expectations, how things are supposed to be. And the interesting thing here is about methods, structure. Okay. training people to work somewhere and how it has to go. If you think about it as an energy, the military is very Capricorn in nature. There's very strict procedures. There are traditions. There are things that are done a certain way. You can't just walk in, right? There's requirements that have to be met. And so that's very Saturnian, that's very Capricorn in nature. And so the Capricorn instructor is going to be someone who is able to teach you the ropes. If you have a Capricorn teacher or a parent or something, they've taught you how something is supposed to be. Now, when you get to be older, some people challenge that. Like, well, there's another way to do it, right? There's another way to do this. But Capricorn is able to uphold tradition, the way things have been done. And I think that I understand why people have issues with tradition sometimes, because there are certain traditions that have been upheld that people view as oppressive, that people view as denying certain people their full rights, their full quality of life, right? So that's a valid concern. But some traditions, you have to understand, were there to keep certain structures in gear. And when you start to lose some of those, and this could be spiritual, could be religion, whichever. I think this can apply to many things, that once you start to lose the structure and the reason for why certain things were done, then you don't have a basis for anything. So you got to be careful sometimes with those things, but that's a whole different conversation that I don't want to get lost in. So the importance here, though, is Capricorn teachers structure. They teach you how to do things the old-fashioned way, or the way in which things have always worked. It's always worked to do it this way. And sometimes the old way helps you adapt to the modern way. Because if you learned the way it was supposed to be done, you knew how to do things by hand, and now you have technology, or now you have this other way, you actually have a little bit more diversity in your skill level. Okay. Now, Aquarius, as we know, modern ruler Uranus, traditional ruler Saturn. With Uranus, we are dealing with science, technology, experiments. Let's try this. Let's do something in a way we haven't done it before. It is very, much polarizing to Capricorn energy. But I always say that Capricorn and Aquarius are like kind of, they're two sides of the same coin. Aquarius has a goal just as much as Capricorn does, right, for different reasons. But the Aquarius-based teacher, instructor, whatever, wants you to experiment. They want you, and the difference here is there's this level of needing to think forward, needing to be okay if you don't arrive at the right answer. With Aquarius energy, there is no right answer. There is simply, we're going to apply and try this new method. And so that's why any type of science, or any type of experiments, or any type of freedom, we're going to try this. This is new. This is inventive. That is Aquarius in nature. And so when a person is teaching their Aquarius, they might put you right in the fire, right into that. Like, all right, we're going to start today. Let's go. Wait, I didn't learn anything yet. We're going to try it. So it's similar in a way to Aries, where it wants you to try. But Aquarius, the difference here is they want you to try because they're trying to test certain theories, or they want you to learn from your own ability to go forward, and your ability to do things in a way that's going to produce some level of independence and individuality. And, and sometimes when you look at it, it's like it's not for a lack of structure. It's because Aquarius wants to have people understand that in order to really think and believe something, you have to try it. You have to experience it, right? And so that is where you get the Aquarius type of person, where there is less, it's not that it's less structure, but it more allows for you to explore a little bit more, because they know there's always more that can be created. There's always more. Oh, I didn't think of it like that before. You're the first student that ever thought about that. That is really, you get the Aquarius's mind. It's when they see something they never seen before, right? So there you go with that. And Pisces. Okay, so lastly, Pisces. Okay, so Neptune, Pisces type individuals, teachers, people who have that energy. It is very much an energy of wanting you to create your, wanting you to dive into what is possible, and wanting you to see. And I think there's a level of, how do I say this? Pisces as a teacher or mentor, it's like they give you freedom, but it's different than Aquarius. It's like they give you the freedom to understand that you are creating something that may not always be. It's like, try it, take a chance, you can do this, right? Because it's not fixated on the outcome. Pisces is more concerned with you learning some of the things that you need to know in order for you to then make your own decisions. With Pisces, there is a certain belief in you and there is a lack of pressure. And I do think that can be beneficial for certain people, because we're all not going to learn easily from the same type of people, but I think there's a lack of pressure that Pisces puts on people that could be beneficial and to some. And also the thing here with Pisces is it's just like, there's not a timeline. And so when Pisces is teaching you something, there's more of an ability to want you to see your own potential and see what you can do. And so you will notice that it's less of a, by this date, we must do this. By this time, we must do this. Pisces simply just trusts in the process. And when you have Neptunian energy, obviously Pisces can be good with anything creative. I don't want to box people in, so that's why I don't want to give a list of like, if you're a Pisces, you can only teach this. But like, of course, you have people who are Pisces that want to teach about therapy or healing, who want you to resolve yourself. So even if you're a Pisces and you're like, well, I work in education, it'll work more with your own energy. Sometimes if you are more of that. All right, everyone, we're going to take 5 minutes, and everybody, we're going to do a mindfulness activity. I want everyone to stop, get in the zone, right? Like yoga, like any of those things right there. Like I knew a teacher, really, really, really phenomenal teacher. And he taught math. And one year he did have them do like a little yoga warm up or something like that before they did math. Right? Like they use, and that was interesting, because I'm like, that's a very Pisces type thing to do in my head. So that was what I was thinking. But like, that's the thing Pisces understands, is like, you can't learn unless you feel calm. And Pisces is good at creating that calm energy. So especially for people that are coming from, have, experiences that are like chaotic, or they're coming into school or the classroom, and then all of a sudden you have a person who's like, calm down. Right? Like they don't match that level of chaos, and that could be really helpful sometimes for people. But of course you have Pisces people who are inspired by, music, people who are inspired by art and things of that nature. But I don't want to box people in, but ideally, typically Pisces individuals see your potential, and there's less of that. No, you're not going to be able to do that. No, you can't do that. It's more of anything is possible. And if anything is possible, it helps your belief system, right? Because it helps you see, wow, this person believes in me. And I say that because some people need hope to learn. Some kids, they need to feel like somebody believes in them. And it doesn't work to say, oh, you better have an A by October. It might not. It's a person willing to work with the process, which is really good and something that you can actually see when we are dealing with this type of energy. Okay. We are dealing with Pisces energy or any energy. It's always important to really notice how you respond to different people, because you're going to deal with people differently depending on your own energy. And if your energy does not align with someone, that might not be the person you can learn from. And I'm a moon in Sag, and I like to believe I learned from a lot of different people in my life, and I don't have this kind of strict criteria. I'm like, I can learn from anybody. But again, there is an importance there with relationship, and that if people believe in you, you're going to be more likely to listen to them, or you're going to be more likely to try what they're saying and achieve down the road. So that was it for this video. Hope you liked it. Please hit the like button. Thanks.